From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. Radio Pilipinas World Service can also be heard on shortwave broadcast through the facilities of the United States Agency for Global Media or Voice of America on the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. I'm your host, Leo Magpayo, and this is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday said the Philippines is now firmly positioned to compete in the global shift toward green maritime support. The President made the statement as he led the naming and delivery of the Brave Pioneer, the world's first dual-fuel methanol-powered Kamsar Max bulk carrier built in the country. The vessel, identified as hull numbers SC443, can carry up to 81,200 metric tons and was constructed by Tsuneshi Shipbuilding at the West Cebu Estate in Balamban, Cebu Province. President Marcos said the launch of the methanol-capable ship places the Philippines on the global map as a future-ready maritime manufacturing hub aligned with international decarbonization goals. The President added that the milestone proves the country's capability to produce high-value, technologically advanced vessels as the world moves toward cleaner fuels and stricter emissions standards. The Kamsar Max vessel is engineered to significantly cut carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur oxide emissions, meeting the benchmark set by the International Maritime Organization or IMO. According to the chief executive, the development opens the door for Philippine shipyards to tap premium global markets and access sustainability-linked financing, including green bonds and climate-related investments. President Marcos stressed that green vessels not only benefit the environment but also strengthen the country's manufacturing base and create higher value jobs for Filipino workers. The President credited the achievement to strong Japan-Philippines cooperation, particularly the partnership between the Tsuneshi Group and the Aboitiz Group, which developed the infrastructure and support ecosystem in West Cebu. Tsuneshi has been operating in Cebu for more than 30 years and has launched nearly 400 ships, delivering over 370 vessels worldwide, highlighting the growing contribution of Filipino shipbuilders to global maritime production. The chief executive also reaffirmed the government's commitment to boosting the shipbuilding and ship repair sector through incentives under the CREATE law, supporting modernization, low-carbon technologies, and higher-value manufacturing. As of November 2025, the Philippines has more than 130 registered shipyards employing over 11,000 workers, 70% of whom are skilled professionals. In 2024 alone, the country produced 484 vessels, from fishing boats to passenger and cargo ships. President Marcos said the Brave Pioneer stands as a symbol of what innovation, international collaboration, and Filipino craftsmanship can achieve, adding that the Philippines is shaping itself into a maritime hub capable of meeting the demands of global trade while protecting the environment.
This achievement sends a clear message to the whole world. The Philippines is ready to lead in the global transition towards low-carbon and sustainable maritime transport. This occasion not only celebrates the launching of a vessel, It is also a celebration of progress and of innovation. And above all, we celebrate the Filipino capacity to rise to the challenge of our rapidly changing world. This accomplishment stands as an example of what can be achieved through strong international partnerships. The collaboration between Japan and the Philippines, between the Tsuneshi Group and the Aboitiz Group, brings together advanced ship design, skilled Filipino labor, and a robust domestic manufacturing base. While this project is a product of bilateral cooperation, it is also, and very importantly, a showcase of Filipino craftsmanship, ingenuity, and competitiveness. It proves once again that what is made in the Philippines can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best of anywhere in the world. The Kamsarmax vessel SC443 is designed to significantly reduce emissions of carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and sulfur oxides. It places the Philippines firmly on the map as a future-ready maritime manufacturing hub, aligned with International Maritime Organization decarbonization targets and global sustainability standards. It is especially vital as we move towards green shipping, an approach that embraces cleaner fuels, optimized vessel design, improved energy management, and sustainable shipping corridors. They are concrete steps towards protecting our environment while continuing to grow the economy.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is assuring full government support and accountability following the deadly landfill incident in Barangay Binalio, Cebu City. Speaking in Balamban, Cebu during the naming and delivery of a methanol-powered Kamsarmax bulk carrier, the President opened his remarks with condolences to the families of the victims and called for unity as search and rescue operations continue. President Marcos asked the crowd to observe a moment of silence for those who died in the January 8th trash slide, offering prayers for the victims and strength for their grieving families. The President said burial assistance and other forms of aid are already being extended to affected households, while authorities work to locate the missing and fully assess the situation. The President also vowed that those responsible will be held to account, stressing that the government is committed to safety, transparency, and compassionate assistance. Cebu City has declared January 16 a day of mourning for the victims. So far, officials have confirmed 13 fatalities, with more than 20 people still unaccounted for. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DNR, has issued a cease and desist order against Prime Integrated Waste Solutions Incorporated, the operator of the landfill. The agency is now conducting a full investigation to determine the cause of the incident and establish accountability.
Before we start, let us take a moment of silence for the victims of the landfill incident in Barangay Binalio, Cebu City last January 08. As search and rescue operations continue, we offer our prayers for the souls of the departed and strength to their grieving families. Please be assured that the government is taking all necessary measures to ensure safety, transparency, accountability, and compassionate assistance. Burial support and other forms of aid are now being directed to those who have been affected by this tragedy. Let us stand in solidarity with our fellow Filipinos during this difficult time.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. visited Cebu Province, releasing 5 million pesos in financial aid to upgrade facilities at the Cebu Provincial Hospital or CPH in Balamban. The president also led the turnover of medical equipment and medicines to several hospitals across the province. According to Palace Press Officer Claire Castro, the president personally oversaw the distribution of assistance during his stop at the Cebu Provincial Hospital in Balamban. Castro said the 5 million peso support from the Office of the President will go toward improving the hospital's facilities. President Marcos likewise handed over 20 wheelchairs and 60,000 pesos worth of medicines sourced from the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office or PCSO. During his visit, the chief executive toured key areas of the hospital and checked on the implementation of PhilHealth's Zero Balance Billing program. Latest data from the Presidential Communications Office or PCO show that as of January 14th, the hospital is caring for around 120 patients. The 2026 national budget allocates 17.39 billion pesos for the Zero Balance Billing Initiative. President Marcos also turned over an X-ray machine and an ultrasound machine to CPH branches in Bogo and Danao, as well as the Daanbantayan District Hospital and the Juan Dosado Memorial Hospital. Castro added that the president is set to launch the Guaranteed and Accessible Medications for Outpatient Treatment or GAMOT program in Cebu. The initiative aims to widen access to essential medicines for Cebuanos. She emphasized that the program reflects the president's commitment to improving healthcare access in the province.
Dateline Malacañang.
Still on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the reopening of the Long Idol Exhibition Complex, calling its revival both a restoration of cultural heritage and a renewed push to elevate Filipino creativity on the global stage. During the ceremony, the president said the complex has been returned to its former glory. President Marcos credited First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos for steering the rehabilitation of the Center for International Trade Expositions and Missions, or CITEM, saying she ensured the project was completed to a high standard. The redevelopment was institutionalized under Executive Order No. 75 and finished in December of 2025. The chief executive also looked back on the complex's origins in the late 1970s when it operated as the Philippine Trade Center and initially focused on the garment sector before expanding to showcase a broader range of export products. With the reopening, President Marcos unveiled the Likhang Filipino exhibition halls, describing them as a world-class venue that highlights the country's finest craftsmanship. The president said the refreshed halls offer designers, artisans, and entrepreneurs a dedicated space to present their work, from furniture and lighting to fashion, textiles, home decor, gifts, and food products. President Marcos Jr. emphasized that the facility will serve both retail and export markets, noting its strategic importance as the Philippines prepares to assume the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN chairship in 2026.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang is attributing the peso's recent slide to 59 pesos and 44 centavos against the United States dollar to a combination of global and domestic factors, while assuring the public that the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas or BSP is closely watching market movements and is prepared to act if necessary. In a palace briefing Thursday, Communications Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. remains in regular coordination with monetary officials as they track developments affecting the local currency. Castro explained that the peso's weakness reflects external pressures, including the stronger U.S. dollar, speculation over possible interest rate cuts by the U.S. Federal Reserve, and geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela. She added that local market sentiment is also responding to the country's economic performance. Despite the peso's depreciation, Castro said the BSP believes current conditions do not yet require intervention, though the central bank continues to monitor the situation closely. To mitigate the impact of the weaker peso, she said, the government is prioritizing efforts to manage inflation, encourage investments, and reinforce key economic sectors. Castro also acknowledged that ongoing investigations into alleged irregularities in flood control projects may have influenced market sentiment. She emphasized, however, that the administration is prepared to accept any short-term consequences in pursuit of accountability. According to Castro, President Marcos remains firm in his directive to clean up government agencies and ensure transparency in public spending, stressing that the fight against corruption remains a top priority.
Una-una po, lagi naman din po nagkakaroon ng pag-meeting ang BSP at ang Pangulo. At para po dyan, ang tugon po ng palasyo, ang pagtaas ng piso kontra dolyar kamakailan ay dulot ng mga pandaigdigan at lokal na mga kaganapan. Una dito ang paglakas ng dolyar. Nariyan din ang espekulasyon kung magbababa ng interest rate ang US Federal Reserve, tensyon sa pagitan ng US at Venezuela, gayon din ang pagbabantay ng ating merkado sa pagkilos ng ating ekonomiya. Ang Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ay patuloy na binabantayan ang lagay ng palitan ng peso kontra dolyar upang makakilos ito ng tama kung kinakailangan. Sa ngayon, kampante ang ating central bank na hindi pa sila dapat magkaroon ng intervention. Upang maibsan ang anumang epekto ng paghina ng piso kontra dolyar, kabilang sa mga hakbang ng ating gobyerno ay ang pagsigurong pagbagal ng pagtaas ng mga bilihin, pagsuporta sa investments at ang pagpapalakas sa mga sektor ng ating ekonomiya. At tandaan natin na nabanggit din po na isa sa mga naging reason dito ay ang patuloy na pagpapaimbestiga ng mga maanumalyang flood control projects. Nakakaapekto po ito at daraanan po talaga ang sitwasyon na ito. Bagamat ganyan ang magiging consequence, minabuti pa rin po ng Pangulo na linisin po ang gobyerno laban sa maanumalyang flood control projects, laban sa mapang-abusong paggamit ng pondo ng bayan. At kung hindi po gagawin ito ng Pangulo, hindi po siguro masisimulan na iba. Ang nais po ng Pangulo ay maging transparent at maipakita sa taong bayan na ginagawa ng gobyerno ang paglilinis ng pamahalaan laban sa korupsyon.
That was Palace Press Officer Claire Castro.
Dateline Malacañang.
We interrupt our program to give way to a presidential event as Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. graced the inauguration of the Aglipay Sewage Treatment Plant or SDP in Mandaluyong City.
Mula sa Presidential Communications Office at Radyo Pilipinas, ito ang Presidential Live Event. Presidential Live Event.
Thank you very much to the chairperson of the MWSS, Elpidio Vega, for your kind introduction. Please take your seats. President and CEO of Manila Water Company Incorporated, Roberto Luxin. Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System Administrator, Leonor Bobby Cleofas. Mandaluyong Lone District Representative, Queenie Gonzalez. And Mandaluyong City Mayor, Menchi Abalos. Officers and personnel, nakabantay pa rin niya yung former mayor dito sa ano niya. And, sinabi ko na sa kanya, huwag ka nang makialam, kayang-kaya na ni Menchi yung trabaho. Officers and personnel of the Metropolitan Water Sewage System and Manila Water Company Incorporated, my fellow workers in government, partners from the private sector and other stakeholders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Having access, I mean, it is axiomatic that access to clean water is a fundamental right that we must uphold and deliver to every Filipino. So today we take a step towards fulfilling that responsibility as we inaugurate the Aglipay Sewage Treatment Plant, a facility designed to improve the water quality of Metro Manila waterways. This plant serves a 2,115 hectare catchment area across Mandaluyong, San Juan, and Quezon City, benefiting over 650,000 residents. Its impact will be felt every single day in our homes, in our rivers, and the well-being of our communities. This STP is managed by our partners at Manila Water and was built with an investment of 3.93 billion pesos. It has the capacity to treat 60 million liters of wastewater every day, expandable to 120 million liters per day as our cities continue to grow. This means that more liters of safe water is available for public consumption and more rivers and seas are preserved for future generations. At this scale, wastewater management and sanitation become essential foundations of public health, of environmental protection, and of sustainable development. By reducing pollution flowing into rivers within its service area, this facility will improve local water quality. It also supports the long-term rehabilitation of Manila Bay by limiting the pollution load that eventually reaches our seas. These are not abstract aspirations, but concrete and measurable actions towards protecting our environmental and restoring our natural resources. Beyond the machinery, what truly matters is, beyond the machinery, fascinating as it is, what really matters is the result. And that is cleaner water returned to the environment and reduced exposure of our people to the hazards of untreated sewage. This is how a carefully planned and thoroughly executed infrastructure directly improves the lives of our people. The work doesn't stop here. More water and wastewater facilities are in the pipeline. 5 wastewater treatment plants across service areas are presently under construction. These initiatives reflect this administration's commitment to strengthen our water and sanitation infrastructure across Metro Manila and beyond. Guided by the revised concession agreement under Republic Acts number 11600 and 11601, our goal is this: by 2047, 76% of households in Metro Manila, in Cavite, and Rizal will be connected to sewage systems, while the remaining 24% will be covered by proper sanitation services. This means that no community is left without safe and responsible wastewater management. As we advance this future-focused roadmap, we recognize the role of Manila Water and Megawide Consortium as our partners in delivering this critical infrastructure. Your expertise and capacity are essential to ensuring that these facilities meet environmental standards and deliver reliable service to the public. This forms a part of our larger vision, a Philippines where economic progress goes hand in hand with environmental stewardship, strong public health systems, and people-centered service delivery. However, True progress also demands collective discipline and shared accountability. Clean facilities must be matched by clean habits. Proper wastewater system must be complemented by responsible waste disposal. So I call on everyone, the government, private sector, and the citizens alike. Let's all do our part. Protect our waterways. Keep our surroundings clean and healthy. Ang kalinisan ng ating kapaligiran ay salamin ng ating disiplina bilang isang bayan. As we move forward, let us remember, water connects us all. Just as clean water flows through healthy rivers, let responsible governance and community discipline flow through our communities to bring good health, dignity, and hope to every single Filipino. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now may we request the
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. as he graced the inauguration of the Aglipay Sewage Treatment Plant or STP in Mandaluyong City.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service can be heard over the following shortwave frequencies: 12.020 MHz, 15.640 MHz, and 17.665 MHz. Radyo Pilipinas World Service is also live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.